Alright, so hello there. Welcome to. Hold on, let me. What happened with this? I don't know what that was, but okay. Alright, let's take a look at a couple of stocks after today's trading session, because we have many potential positions that we might want to take a look at a little bit more closely to make some money-making opportunities. For those who don't know me, my name is Anton Howard. I'm the host of this show, and I am a stock trader. I like trading stocks natively. I just like buying the stock, and if it goes up, it goes up. I actually think I might be going into either options or shorting, because you can't just make money if it goes up. You have to make money if it goes down or it doesn't move at all. So I like the idea of that. It's just it increases complexity when you are taking multiple sides like that. But you can't just do the same thing over and over and expect to win. Even though this year I have made some fantastic calls. I've called Carvana when it was at about $9, $7 to $9, and then it went all the way up to 56. I called Bitfarms when it was at 1.16 and got it. Now it's at 3.5, which is well over 200. It's about a 200% move. Over the last month, 2 months, it's been up over 200%. So there's that. I called Viking. I didn't call. Someone actually called Viking for me. It just kept on going up. That's why it's on the watch list. So what I want to do is take a couple of look at these stocks, and then if you have any questions, sorry, I'm having a cough, but let me know, and then we will deal with it. So let's take a look at Bitfarms. This was the biggest one that I called. I got it at about 1.16, sold it at 2, and here it is at 3.5, which is our second target. Our second target being because it's around double the entire run from where I bought in to where it is now. This is about double the distance across this major head and shoulder, which there is a very good chance that this thing could correct whenever it does all the way back down to the head and shoulders, because it did not give us a proper retrace back down to this level. Retracing is a good thing, but Bitcoin right now is on a run, and so Bitcoin mining is on a run. And look at that, this is actually one of the strongest charts out there in the Bitcoin mining sector. Mind you, there are things like Core Scientific, Core ZQ, Core Scientific. I think this is the one that made like an 80% move. It went from 3.3. No, it went from 4.3 all the way up to like 80 in a day. So this was the one that made just randomly out of nowhere an 80% move, and now it's making a 26% move. So this is actually a really good performing stock. And I think I feel like it's a little bit late on me to start looking at these other stocks, because I got a little bit attached to Tango Therapeutics, still thinking that it's going to be making its run. I mean, I'm making money on it, right? But I'm not making as much as I could have with this, because of when I was at the top of Bitfarms. It was about at this level, and Bitfarms started looking a little bit weak. Bitcoin, the underlying asset of this, was looking a little bit wavy when it was around the $44,000 mark. I thought it was going to correct down. My erroneous assumption was I thought it was going to correct down around the 40,000 and then just kind of hang there and then maybe go up to 50K. But Bitcoin's been extremely excited, and the day that I sold, this thing just shot up and broke past the resistance, to which I bought in again and then sold when that started to sell off. So I don't know, I was not going to just fall into the pattern of getting wrecked on a stock. I already made my money in it, so like it may as well was just time to go. And then I saw that this thing was just going to keep on running. But like I said, I kind of made my decision, like, look, I'm not going to go ahead and get thrown up and down by the stock. And so it continued to go up, and I'm just going to stand by my word, take this L, and then learn the lessons. Now note that we have some pretty high volume here relative to the entire run on the specific day. So I don't know if this stock wants to keep going up, but I'm not saying that it can't. This is our second target here, so 3.5. Our third target was just way up here, about like 5, just way up here, because what you can do is you can take this formation right here and turn it from the head and shoulders. So from the head of the head and shoulders pattern, you can take this head and this shoulder and turn it into a cup, and then we have our rules of a cup and handle formation. So now this thing can go twice the height of the cup, or at least twice the height of the bull flag. So twice the height of the bull flag, this bull flag right here, which is at the base of the head, that forms the shoulder. This right shoulder is in fact the passing retest of the bull flag. So you can see that this is just a bull flag. Twice the height of that is around where we are right now, about the $3.7 to $4 mark. Or this thing could just blow through the roof and go twice the height of the head and shoulders formation on the logarithmic scale, and then you go up to 7. This thing could just continue to run. I made good money on it. This is one of my highest performing assets. Even though I made some really good calls, I tend to not hold on to them that much, because when I was when we were at the top of here, I was like, okay, well, I was taking a look at this stock right here, which is Tango Therapeutics. We have a very powerful high tension graph here, where we have the head and not the head and shoulders, but we have the cup and handle formation here, a positive retest on the cup and handle that didn't even sustain itself as a moving average. We just took the moving average as, yep, all right, well, that's support now, because the real resistance was this high tension area here, and we passed that as if it was nothing only recently. And it was about this time where we were just starting to run, and I'm like, okay, well, this thing can go up rapidly, very quickly. And so that's when I left Bitfarms for this. Now, it was an erroneous assumption, It crawled up to about 25%, came up to the top of the cup, top of the handle, and it's just lingering here. So there's a chance where we can actually see an express relief of tension, and just this thing could just freaking launch up. And it might be a good call on my part. Because if it is, then this thing makes its move. I can then go back into Bitfarms, even though Bitfarms ran heavily since then, and I might actually gain shares on Bitfarms. But, that's neither here nor there. You can see the formations of Tango Therapeutics, the strength of it. We've gone through this multiple times, all of the bullish reasons for this, the tension, the cup and handle, the positive retest of the 200-day moving average, not even touching the moving day average since, and passing through some resistances if it was nothing. The 50-day moving average, that's not even resistance. It doesn't even, like, the real resistance is cup and handle formation. So I don't know how long we're going to be hitting, standing around here at this level, but once the bulls have made their mind, because I'm a bull the way that I handle the stock market, I have to take the mindset of the bull and also account for the mindset of the bears. But this is why I look at the chart so much, is because this is what it is. This is what the market is. Okay, and no news is good news when it comes to things like this, which I don't expect any good news, because Tango Therapeutics, like, they're in ongoing cases. There's no earnings for the next few months, and the cases don't wrap up for a while either, according to their website. So no news is good news, and it is what it is, because this thing could definitely launch. I have to take the mindset of a bull with it. So according to that mindset, we are just resting on this moving average, the 7 moving average for the day. We are at the top of the handle on the cup and handle formation, and we just have yet to really see this thing run. So if that is if it runs, of course. This thing for some reason may not run. Let's just take a look at it without all the lines. Yeah, I think I got to get rid of it, because here we have our main resistance points that could be potential targets. And we also had another target up here, but I guess it got removed. But here, just take a look at it, how it is now. Like, this thing could just keep going up. Look at this massive bull flag. People are going to start tracing out the formations, and they're going to be like, what? Why was I not in this for the last, little bit? Listen, I got it at about 8.3. This is at 10.5 now, so I'm up okay on the money. This thing just has yet to surge and really prove itself. I mean, look at the way, look at it. This is such an easy buy. I expect 1 week this thing could just launch, or 2 weeks. It could just go up, make quick money, and then we're out. Or we can stay in, because there are some actual technicals that are going on, and if people believe in the technology of Tango Therapeutics, maybe they come out with a really nice website upgrade or something like that around this time, then that would be a good reason to be in. But I think this thing's just going to be a very fast launch. A very fast launch. We get in, we make our money, and then if you want to keep it at that point, you can. But I'm going to be selling it. I'm going to be moving somewhere else. I actually do think that AI is resurging right now, especially BBAI. I like this stock right now. Right now we have a recent positive confirmation of this bull flag here. It went up, went down, and then treated the 50-day moving average as if it was nothing. It wasn't even there. We surged past the 200-day moving average, and now we're above the 200-day moving average. This thing gained 7% on the day with a high of about 2.18, which is pretty great. Well, 2.19. We have a head and shoulders formation that's forming, so this thing's very likely to go up to 2.27 around the resistance of the head and shoulders, and then we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure if this thing is going to blow through. I'm not sure about that. It might take a couple of days. We might reject. We might reject and then come back down to the 200-day moving average, or since we have resistance on the 50 weekly, we could just hang here for a little bit and then wait for next week for the confirmation of the head and shoulders. So, but we do have possibilities. If we pass the head and shoulders, we could go up to $3 on this, and it would be just kind of like Bitfarms, but with less tension. So this thing might not surge immediately up back towards that, but it might happen like that. And the reason why I don't think it's as high of a tension is because when you look at the way that it declined from the high, like sure, this thing could be incredibly undervalued, but now you need to see it in a very skewed way. Okay, like this. So now you see that this thing just jetted up and then held itself. Not really much of a retest back down to this level, which I had kind of wanted it to do, but it did a double movement up and then barely, like this thing isn't even, like this resistance is dead. So this would have been probably the greatest time to buy the stock, in my opinion, because now we're high tension and then we just positively tested it. So are we gonna go up double the height of this movement here? Which the double the height of the movement here, when you look at it again skewed, and remember you have to do this because these things are, this is a geometric formation going on. So now with respect to price and time, this thing can go up to about 2.6. So 2.1 to 2.6, that's 40% gain. Here you are making a little bit over around 20%. So that's kind of what I look at when it comes to this. BBAI. I like that. I like this kind of thing. But remember, we have to think about the resistance here and this entire head and shoulder pattern that's going on. Because this head and shoulder pattern, you got to understand the strength of all of these things. Here, let me show you. Okay, so this kind of lines up at around the halfway point of this movement. So this is gone. Okay, it's gone. We can go up twice that distance, and that's the only reason why we'd keep that line to this area right here. All right. So you can see that the top of the right shoulder formation is a little bit around halfway. I would say it's a little bit more halfway to double the height of this entire movement here from that bullish wave. So I expect kind of like a kind of decision point about how we want to have this formation, because it could very well just reject and then come back down off the head and shoulders, depending on how strong the technical traders think that it is. But the bigger formation here, I think, is also a very powerful one. So after that resistance is dealt with, then this thing would definitely be an entry point for me. I am hoping that this is after Tango Therapeutics' move, should that move ever happen. So that is BBAI. That was Bitfarms, and then here's Viking Therapeutics. I was recommended this stock. Someone gave me this stock, and they said they recommended to buy at about $12 and a sell at 13, which was pretty ridiculous because here we are at dang near knocking $20. And this thing is like 70% up, like 70%. I'm not excellent on the math, but that's a good amount of money to be made since the beginning of the month. So, and people are missing out on this stuff. So here we are, right? We have this big bull flag formation, or at least a kind of explosion from this level here. But we kind of have to look at why it got to this point. I could go through all the news and see what's actually going on and what could happen next, but this thing it just hit recently a higher high from the $24 mark. Then it hit 25, and it looks like it's already ready to reapproach that $25 mark and go beyond it to like maybe 26. We have a large bullish formation flag that was positive bullish formation pattern, which you can see beyond the monthly. Probably if you look at it on the yearly. this here. So as you can see, I gotta do what I can to illustrate it, but we're flat, and then we went down here to $2, okay? And then we completely negated this entire move down and then went up to 25, all right? Which is, so, a 10x. And then we went down to about the 5x mark, $10, which was a proper 50% retrace on the linear chart. And we're surging up again. So I think that this thing wants to go beyond it to about $50. That's what I think this stock wants to do. Pray that the investors don't get squashed on some random thing. But as you can see, we are positively going towards this direction. Now, I don't like the nature of this bull flag. There might be a lot of bulls already in it and a lot of bears that are taking advantage of the short-term price fluctuations in it. But this might be a very powerful resistance point to see what's going on with it, with 25 to really see. Because right now you're disregarding the 200-day moving average as an actual resistance point. So I don't know what's happening for this thing to blow up so quickly. But right now I'm just taking a look at it. It's another therapeutic companies, and really I don't really mess with therapeutic companies like that. So those are the 5 stocks that I wanted to, oh yeah, here's one more. C3AI. Okay, so C3AI, I liked the formations looking at it. It went up and down with the AI craze. Here we are resting at $30, and it looks like there's a lot of hesitation going on whether or not this thing wants to go up. But that tension is building, and there's a decision that's going to have to be made eventually. So let's take a look at this since the beginning. Since the beginning, it launched up and then sold off, as many stocks do. And then we had this movement upward, but I think that was just fueled by a ChatGPT thing. The fact that this stock ticker is literally called AI, so that's great marketing, but that doesn't show the substance. And so this ran and then sold off and then ran again. So I mean, we ran again from $20 all the way up to 40, which is a 100% move. But we went back down again, and now I think that there's a lot of bearish pressure building up. I mean, take a look at it. You can see a head and shoulders pattern. You have the head, you have the shoulder here, and then you have a very weak head. You didn't even really make this formation. So either this thing's building up tension to release in the up direction, or it's just really trying to break down and cancel this formation out. So let's take a look at the daily chart to see what could potentially be going on with it in the short term, to see whether or not it wants to sell off. Okay. So we bounced off the 200 moving average. We went up, set a higher high from 43-ish to about $49. We set a higher high, and then as we approached it to make another higher high, we rejected it, went back down to the moving average. And that higher high is very powerful. It tells us, hey, this thing might actually want to run, but I think that there are a lot of not smart people in here. They might push it up, I think that AI, the craze of AI, have a lot of people in the stock that don't necessarily know how to trade stocks. So they might be like, oh, well, this is the company I want to invest in, not necessarily looking at look, this is how the chart's going. So you might lose money in the short run. Long-term investors versus short-term traders. I think the short-term wants to sell off. But the long term might just ignore it, and if they ignore it, this thing's going to go up. So very interesting to see. This is definitely going to be on my watch list for a little bit. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this. If you learned a little bit about stocks, let me know. If you want a little bit more of this, then I have a private community. You can go join my Discord. I will just leave the link in there. You can also follow me on social media, check out my website and all that kind of stuff. I don't really be doing too much, but trading stocks, I feel a little bit more passionate about this because it's another way of making money. And I think that if people really knew how to do this, then they would make money too. But a lot of people are kind of scared about how stocks, oh my God, my friend lost $200 in the stock market. It's something that we don't really talk about too much, but whenever we talk about it, it's like, oh, I either made a lot of money or a lot of little. And so people get the misconception that stocks are very risky when you have to hedge your bets. You are in this market whether or not you like it because you have money you know, and you buy things with that money. So why not buy things that make you more money instead of complaining about not having money? Well, that's what you do, is you start making money, and then you might lose it because you don't really have the footing, and then you understand, okay, you learn more about it, and then you can consistently make money. And that's the whole goal in this, is to be able to consistently solve your problem of not having money. So enough money. So there you go. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. My name's A.T. Howard 1997 everywhere else. Antoine Howard, that's my real name. And, or, you know, my government name, the one that people call me, so that's my real name. And yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. Peace out. Oh, I see what this is. It's completely different.